Hi everyone. So today I have a DOM IX Saturn. This is a 2-row dimple lock, as you can see from the key. In addition to the 2 rows of pins, there's an interactive feature on the key. You can see it right here. So that does, I think, an extra high lift on that rearmost pin there. It's a little wheel that's inserted into the key, and when you push on the bottom, it pops out the top. So this is very similar to another lock I picked, which was a Twinstar. The difference is that the Saturn is a slightly easier version, slightly lower security, but it's only missing one element that the Twinstar had. So you can see on the plug, it does have those 2 rows of 5 pins. This last one that's a little different, that is for the interactive pin, which is shaped differently from the other drivers. And then the key pin for the interactive is just this little tiny, I guess, flat piece right here, as opposed to the other key pins, which you'll notice have shark fins. So they fit in the grooves on the key here, just like that, and go into those divots on those low lifts. So, but that last one is just a, it's just a no shark fin. It's just a round piece of metal. So, in terms of the key pins, I just showed you one. So they all have these shark fins. Some of them do have these overset traps on the top, which I'll show you right there. So if you overlift those, they will get stuck and you will have to reset the lock. And then in terms of security drivers, half the drivers in this one are normal, and then the other half are spools. So you do have to do some spool work here, some counter rotation. The bottom of these is angled because they are not centered in the Bible or the plug. So if they weren't curved, they have to be curved in order for the plug to rotate freely. So in addition to those active security features, this does have key control that is passive pins. So you can see right here, there's divots on the side of the key. When you insert the key into the lock, those divots line up with some of these holes. Those holes will have these little tiny key control pins in them that you can barely see right there. If you do not have the key control pins in the holes that match the key, when you insert this, they will get pushed out of the plug. They fit into a groove on the sides here of the housing, and then the key won't turn. This also has a groove on the bottom. In a Twinstar, there would be another sidebar, I guess, for lack of a better term, on the bottom here, and there would be another interactive that sticks up into the plug from the bottom that you would have to hit to collapse the sidebar and allow it to turn. But this just has the groove. I'm assuming they reused the housing, but there's no active element there. So that's about it. This was a fairly quick open for me. The Twinstar I picked took me a long time. It's like a 50-minute video. This only took me a couple of minutes, and I'm not sure if it's because this is easier from the bitting, because you can see I've got a bunch of real low lifts right there. It could be the bitting, it could be the fact that it just has less elements, and it could just be that I'm better at this than I was when I picked the Twinstar many months ago. So with that, we'll get over to the video. Again, it's fairly quick to open, but longer gut because there's a lot of random little pieces in here. So here we go, over to the next section. Okay, I've got my DOM IX Saturn here. Key works. And let's see if I can get this open in relatively short order. So this pretty reliably binds going counterclockwise, left side and right side. So I'm just going to try to pick it that way and see if that works. So I had to lift the spool, which is in position 1 on this side, and that ends up dropping some of the other pins that I set on my first pass. So I gotta go back and redo those real quick here. Okay, a little bit of core movement. I'm thinking that false set is good enough to indicate that I'm not that side. Now, I can't normally tension from this side, but because pin 1 is a max lift, this is actually, let's try this. Because pin 1 is a max lift, if I insert the tensioner now after I've gotten this side done, I'm just holding that pin up. It's not really going to make that much of a difference. But normally I couldn't tension from this side this way because I'd be pushing up on that pin. Okay. Just trying to get this other side now. I got the first pin. Just tapping up some of these other ones. Probably see I'm getting core movement. I'm in a pretty good false set here. So let me just see if I need to get this interactive pin in the back, or if there's something else that needs to be set here. Make sure I've gotten all the spools. I'm guessing it's the interactive pin, which can be kind of a pain to find back here. That false set's gonna hold, no problem. Again, because I've gotten everything set, I believe, except for this interactive pin. Whoop, bump the camera. Okay, maybe I'm missing something that's not the interactive. Maybe I'm stuck on a spool. Oh, there we go. All right, that was not terrible. That was a spool, I think, in the 3rd position on the right side that I was stuck on. But you can see that is now open. Move it back and forth a little bit. Okay, time to gut. I'm gonna close this up first. And it's relocked. I've not got this before. I am hoping there are less pieces in here than in a Twinstar, where when you gut it, stuff just goes all over the place. reverse my pliers here. Okay. All right, there's the clip. I'm gonna shim this. Because again, I don't know exactly what's going on here. Okay. Let's go with that. And hopefully I don't lose many pieces out of this thing. Okay. So we've got this plastic. As was the case with the Twinstar, we've got this plastic cover here so that the lock doesn't brick. Potentially there's some passive key control pins. Okay, they're right there. See those? I'm gonna dump those out real quick. Nope, they don't want to come out. Okay, there we go. So those were the key control pins. They fit into these 3 divots on the key, which is symmetrical. And now I'm gonna do this. That is a weird pin right there. Put you right there. I don't technically know if the interactive, I'm assuming it comes out like a regular pin, but maybe not. But I'm gonna put you there. See which ones of these. These are all high lifts, so these are gonna get pushed out by the key. Let's keep you in order though. Okay, I'm not sure if the interactive comes out, but let me see here. Okay, it does. There's the interactive right there. Okay, so that's the key pins. Now let's do the drivers, and the drivers are gonna go in this order. Okay, so plug would be like this. I did it this way. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. These springs. I was gonna say these non-spool drivers are pains to get out, and I thought I could just dump it, but I dumped a bunch of the springs instead. I'm not looking forward to putting this thing back together. These things are pains to reassemble. That's why I only want to do this once. And that's the driver on the interactive right there. All right. Springs. There's 4 of them. Might as well do the rest. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 springs. Okay, so you can see here the grooves on the side. This is what the key control pins are for. If they're pushed out of place because they are in holes that don't match the divots on the key, they get stuck in this groove. And then this bottom groove right here, that would be for the second interactive, were this to be a Twinstar. But as of right now, there is no sidebar groove down there for it to work, because this is not a Twinstar, this is a Saturn. And then nothing in the chambers. And let's look at the pins real quick here. So you can see this one had spools in 4 positions. So on the left side, as I was picking it, 2 and 4 had spools, which were not super interactive, I don't believe, because those are real high lifts, or sorry, real low lifts. But then these ones were interactive. Number 2, number 4 there. And then you got the little interactive pin. And then I think as normal, some of these are overset traps, like right there. You can overset that and get it stuck. And there's a closer look at the spools right there. All right. Again, that's a DOM IX Saturn. It's basically a Twinstar, but it's missing one piece. This one was a lot easier than the Twinstar I picked, but I picked that a long time ago, so maybe I'm just better now. But it's functionally the same lock, except again for that second interactive on the bottom. So there we go. That is all picked and gutted. And thank you for watching.